Assalamu alaikum everyone. So in this week's project class was divided into literacy and science side by side. So this week we learned about habitats, animal and plants habitat, and how we basically were able to understand what a habitat is and what are the different types of habitats. So we saw a picture in this class today and we had this activity which is called See, Think and Wonder. We asked the children to tell us what they see in the pictures. So they said mountains and animals, flowers, water, rocks, and flowers blooming. Then they were asked do they think these pictures are about. They said that they think it's a painting about different places, or someone said, I think in a desert picture, I see a cactuses that look really sharp. And then they said the marine looks like it's part of the sea. And they said that they think that these are different animals' houses. Someone even said that it looks like part of Banigala, or one place looks like Nathyagiri. So that's what the children thought. And then they were asked, do any questions come to their mind when they look at these pictures? Do they wonder anything? So they asked how are the houses so close together? And then why is ice floating in this water? Why is there water and ice floating in the middle? And they also wondered that what sort of animals live in all these areas. And also, what exactly is a rainforest, which we told them is a place where it rains very frequently. So that is why there's so many different types of plantations. And so this was basically an introduction and to get them to think about the topic, which is habitat. So they were told that these pictures represent different habitats of animals and plants. And a habitat is a home of an animal or plant. Almost every place on earth, from the hottest desert to the coldest ice pack, is a habitat for some kind of animals and plants. Most habitats include a community of animals along with water, oxygen, soil, sand, and rocks. So a habitat is more like a community than a house. Think about a forest. An animal has to share the trees with all the other animals who may be strangers to it. But if you live in a house, you live independently and separately, and you do not have to share it with a stranger. So animals are accustomed to moving around and finding new places to live in case their habitat is not suitable anymore. As long as they can adapt well to that place and it is a right habitat for them. For example, it has food, water, and shelter. An animal's needs a habitat that can provide it with food, water, safety, the biggest concern, air, and a comfortable place to raise its young or babies. Does this sound familiar? It should. Because as a human, you need a habitat. We all need a habitat that does all of the above things as well. So what are the types of habitats that we are going to learn about during the course of this project? We're going to learn about aquatic habitat, which is water habitat, forest or woodland, deserts, grassland and savanna, polar and tundra habitat. So then we saw this video in class, very interesting video, which explains the topic of habitat more and takes it a little further. It's available on the Google Classroom for whoever missed the class. They can watch it there. So a habitat is a natural environment that an animal lives in. A habitat provides an animal with the three important things: food, shelter, a safe place to raise its young, just like this rabbit is in a burrow, safe from all the dangers, raising its young here. So what do frogs need in their habitat? We're going to talk about a few animals and see what they need in their habitats. So a frog needs food such as flies, cockroaches, and spiders that are caught on frogs' sticky long tongue. Bigger frogs can eat bigger animals like mice and birds. They also need to camouflage, that means hide, so that they are less visible to the predators, such as otters, birds, and fish. They also need water for drinking and for laying their eggs in. So what exactly is a predator? A predator is an animal that hunts other animals. So this means the frogs are best suited for a place where there's water, such as a pond or a lake nearby. So that is an ideal habitat for a frog. So next, what do birds need in their habitat? They also need food such as berries, worms, and small insects. They also need to camouflage, as in hide, so that they're less visible from the predators, as in hide in the trees. They also need materials for nest building, since that's their primary house. Example, twigs and leaves. This means that birds are best suited to live in places that have plenty of trees, such as woods or forests, or gardens and parks. So then what do polar bears need in their habitat? So polar bears need food such as seals, reindeers, and fish. And they can even use their sense of smell to find seals hiding under the snow. They also need to camouflage so that they're harder to spot. Their see-through fur reflects the white of the snow around them and lets them blend in. Sea ice is for hunting, living on, and breeding on. So a polar bear ideally needs to live in Arctic circles. That's North Pole or the South Pole. So what do the lions need in their habitat? They need water to stay hydrated. They need prey such as they eat meat. So any prey that could be an antelope or a zebra to eat. They need to hide in long grass to hide. They need long grass to hide in while they hunt for their prey. So a prey is an animal that is hunted and eaten by another animal. So this means lions are best suited to live in places where there are plenty of zebras and other animals to eat, and there is long grass that they can hide in. So a suitable habitat for them would be the plains of Africa or grasslands. So what do dogs need? So we can divide dogs into two types. One would be the wild dogs and the other would be the pet dogs. So both the wild and the pet dogs need water to stay hydrated in all conditions. They need food in the form of prey such as mice, voles, rabbits, and other small animals that are caught and eaten easily. So this is for the wild dogs, while the pet dogs prefer to eat dry fruit or meat that is given to them by their owners. So wild dogs need a den to feel safe in. In the wild, this is a warm, dry place like a cave. But for pet dogs, we need to have a small crate or a bed that they can rest in. So this means the wild dogs are best suited to live in places where there is plenty of food and caves to stay dry in. Whereas the pet dogs are best suited to live with their owners in the warm and dry and comfortable house, or in a dog house outside in the lawn. So what do pandas need in the environment? Panda needs food and water to stay healthy and hydrated in all the conditions. Both come from bamboo, which grows in cool forests. They also eat other plants, even small rodents. So how do they camouflage themselves? The panda's white fur helps it hide in snow in mountains, while the black patches helps it hide in shade. This means pandas are best suited to live in places where there is plenty of bamboo, in places where, that is enough places to hide also, like forests. So what do foxes need? Foxes need water to stay hydrated in all conditions. They prey on birds and mice. They are scavengers, which means they will eat almost anything like insects, earthworms, fruits, berries, and food waste left by humans. They also need a den to live in. This is usually a hole under the ground, like this. They show an example here. So fox are best suited to live in places where there are plenty of water, prey, and somewhere for them to make a den, such as a forest. So this is it for today, and we'll see you all in the next project class. Till then, Allah Hafiz and take care.